Howdy, guys, and welcome to Cliff Notes, and welcome to recap of night 23 of Big Brother season 25. A good Friday to y'all. All right, we had it last night. We had the live eviction episode. We have an HOH competition going on. Before I go any further, just as an update, no, as of 5:30 or so this morning, we still don't have a winner in the HOH, but we'll talk about who's still competing, who's not. First of all, let's talk about the live eviction episode. Remember, Cameron and Haisam were on the block. The plan was to backdoor Haisam, but we had a lot of people suddenly maybe flip-flopping, getting a little wishy-washy on those plans. A lot of uncertainty leading up to the eviction episode itself as to whether the plan was actually going to take effect. Well, it did. By unanimous vote, Haisam is out the door. Doesn't look like he's coming back. Julie Chen in her exit interview revealed the relationship with Jared and Cerise, so I don't think he's coming back for a battle back or anything else. Haisam's out the door, and the plan went through. Now, not a whole lot of excitement with that. We pretty much expected Haisam to go out, even with all of that other stuff. The two things that I will mention from the episode, if I could. One, boy, Blue had a brutal goodbye message for Haisam. She did not pull any punches. She basically said how excited she was that he was out the door and all that. I'm fine. Yet they tell us, give whatever goodbye message you want, talk for a few seconds, talk for a few minutes. It's completely up to you what you want to say for your goodbye message. Now, I always kept mine short because I figure if I made a long one, they could go in and pick and choose what parts they wanted to use. And I didn't want them to have the editorial control any more than possible. But they tell us, say whatever you want. Blue certainly did, which more power to her if she wants to go off on them like that. She hadn't done a whole lot in this house, though, to necessarily justify her feeling like she's lording over him, that he's out and she's not. But whatever. So Blue said that. The other thing I'm going to point out, there are some people that need to really trim their messages when they're in the diary room voting. It's one thing to go in there and say, love you, mom, or I don't know, SKD 143. I think those are all right. We had a few people, I think it was Nicole, who trying to squeeze in about 30 names in about 15 seconds, it seems like. Don't be doing that. Do a quick shout out if you want to, but that's it. Get in, get out. I hope production shuts that down a bit because it seems like it's getting longer every single week. All right, off my soapbox. Let's talk about what's really cool. The competition for HOH. It was announced by Kazar coming up saying 18 years ago, we did one of the most iconic competitions, the longest competitions in HOH history or in Big Brother history, the pressure cooker. And guys, welcome. It's bigger and badder than ever before. Yeah, we've been waiting for it, and it was there last night. Still going on, as I mentioned. All right, so what's going on with the pressure cooker? First of all, for those of you who don't know, it's a very simple process. You stand holding or pressing a button. Whoever is there holding that button the longest wins the competition, wins HOH. That's it. Now, they were, at first I thought maybe they were in somewhere other than the backyard, but they confirmed throughout the evening that no, they were in a backyard, a big circular ring. I mean, you can see it right here. What am I describing? You can see it right there. Big circular ring. They're all standing around. A button that you have to push down on. It's not pushing to the side like the first pressure cooker they had. You have to push down on it. If you let go of that thing, you're out. You can't sit. You can't get on your knees. You could squat, they said. There was some question about whether you could lean on the rails because a few people were doing that. But basically, you just have to stand there and see how long you can last. Now, one of the kickers was that the lights were off for extended period of time. We could still watch it because we've got the infrared and such. You couldn't watch it if you're inside. The other thing they mentioned was that no one could leave until the first four had dropped, and apparently then in groups they would be allowed to leave. And the other thing they mentioned, and it's not showing up here, but there's cards. Every person as they go down has to open a card which has information, and Julie Chen said some could be good, some could be bad. So we're going to talk about that as well. All right. And while that's all going on, we've got Felicia over here. She can't compete because she's outgoing HOH. They didn't have her in there hosting, giving commentary or anything else. They just kept her in the house. She got to watch it on the TV screen. I'm pretty sure she doesn't have sound volume. We watched one or two comps during my season. We didn't have any sound in there. So doesn't have any sound, but she can watch, see what's going on. And she cleaned the house or cleaned the kitchen a little bit, ate a lot of chips and a lot of different snacks and everything else. She's enjoying her time. She's watching just like we are, I guess, and cheering on a few people, cheering against a few people as well. All right, so that's what the ground rules are, I guess. So let's talk about what actually was taking place in there. Houseguests, when they first started off, very talkative. It was all laughing and cheering and they were all doing all kinds of stuff. Not so much as they got further into the evening. But we did have that Cameron trying to tell a few stories, which didn't really seem to be that appreciated by other people. I thought someone laughed at one point. He said, "Oh, can I tell you a story?" And I think someone said, we couldn't stop you even if we didn't want you to." But Cameron's telling stories. Jared calls out America at one point and says, "I've only been in here 10 minutes and your voice is already irritating America." Okay. Why do you intentionally antagonize anyone right before you have someone winning an HOH competition? But we've got that. Some people standing still like a rock. Meek Cole, I don't think she's moved the whole time she's there. I don't think said a word, hasn't moved. She might as well be dead or a statue, one or the other. Other people, on the other hand, Izzy's dancing around, keeping her hand on the button, but moving around quite a bit. Bowie Jane, I think she's doing a whole dancer size routine in there as well. So some people trying to shift their weight as much as they can. Others just trying to go into some other. I think some people are trying to transfer their thinking and everything into the netherworld, somewhere other than that backyard and the pressure cooker itself. All right, so we have a few things that are happening. We've got, let's just talk about the first couple that are out. Jared. How'd Jared go out? Now, here's the thing that irritates me a little bit. We don't necessarily get to see the aftermath. When someone goes out, typically the feeds have been cutting off almost immediately. So we're missing out a little bit here and there, like them reading the cards and such. But Jared was out. I don't think it was on the live feeds at all. So we didn't even see exactly how it happened. Apparently it was accidental. I haven't heard anyone that says, I pulled my hand off. I was just tired or something. They're all saying, I wasn't expecting it. I just barely moved and something happened. But Jared's the first one out. Seems like almost immediately afterwards, Sari is out. Now, it's interesting. We saw before they dropped, the two of them were whispering to each other with the lights out so no one else could see. I don't know if anyone else could hear or not, what are you whispering about? Talk about whether you're going to stay or not. I'm not sure, but Jared's the first one off. Sari is off right afterwards. We didn't get to see the drops again because the feeds were down. But we did have, right after that, the feeds come back up a little bit. We noticed that there was a table in the middle. Can you see it? See that table right there? Yeah, now that tablecloth is missing, and we discover there are snakes inside. They're not moving away from the inside part, but there's snakes in there. Don't know if that'll have an effect a little bit later or not. But we have that. We also had air blowing up, compressed air hitting them in the face a few times just to catch them off guard. So they're trying to give them a little shock here and there. Jared and Sari are the first ones out. I mentioned Izzy's dancing away while she's holding the button. Now, one thing that was kind of fun, she started making loud breathing noises, kind of something like that. Everyone else in the room's like, "Oh, what's that going on? Who's doing that? What's going on? Where is that, y'all?" And couldn't figure it out. It got to the point she was doing it so much and everyone's getting so worried or wondering what it was. She's laughing. She can barely contain herself. So then people are saying, "Is that you, Izzy?" She can't respond because she's laughing so much. I actually was laughing as well. That's probably the most fun part of the whole evening so far. But Izzy's trying to have fun, distract herself a little bit, making the breathing noises. It was pretty funny. We have Sari and Jared just freezing. They're in the backyard, and it does get cold out there once the sun sets. They're freezing. Jared and Sari's got a full jacket. She's got it pulled over her. Jared is freezing as well. There's other people. Izzy looks miserable because she's cold. She just has a tank on. So, yeah, temperature may be affecting these people as much as anything else. All right, well, we did have, while Sari and Jared, remember, they can't leave. It's only groups of 4 is what we are told. They can leave the room. So they're waiting for another 2 people to drop. Well, meanwhile, we notice that Jared has opened up a box and there's a bunch of beers in there. So Jared's sitting there drinking beers while he's waiting for other people to drop. Not always a good thing when there's no bathroom breaks allowed, and there was no porta potties in this room either. So Yeah, you gotta be careful of that, Jared. But he's drinking a few beers while he's watching the competition and just waiting for some other people to drop. So Jared and Sari in there for quite a few hours. Finally, at about the 4-hour mark, Izzy dropped. She was dancing around trying to just keep herself going, probably generate some body heat. But Izzy is out as well. She's not happy with it. It was not intentional. So we do see her actually go out, and I saw that once you go out, a light turns on over your head, and that signifies that you're out. We hadn't seen that with Jared and Cerise since the feeds were out, but yeah, light comes on indicating Izzy had let go of the button for just a second. So she is out as well. Right after that, the feeds cut once again. When they come back on, we see that Cerise, Jared, and Izzy are gone. They're not in the room anymore. Just a little bit later, they come into the house and see Felicia. Now, I thought that they said that it took 4 people before you could leave the room. I don't know if they changed it because it's taken a little longer than they thought or what, but suddenly now it's 3 people. So Jared, Cerise, and Izzy are all out heading into the house to meet Felicia. Somewhere Hassam, either now or when he watches the replay, is going to watch these 3 people go out and say, yeah, didn't I say that y'all were the leftovers, y'all were the ones that couldn't win a single competition? I'm sure that little karma striking there. I'm sure Hassam is laughing a little bit about the people who went out first. So they are first. Now, once they get back into the house, we're going to get away from the backyard for a little bit because there were a lot of conversations taking place amongst these 4, as you can imagine, once they got into the house itself. They're looking miserable. Izzy has her head in her hands, looks like she's crying, or at least she's very unhappy with the way this outcome came. Later, she complained. She said, that wasn't the best I could do. There's not many comps where you just stand there. That your job is just to stand there. And I couldn't even do that. I didn't even do that great. So she's very upset. She thought she could have won this thing. Yeah, you could have, Izzy, but it didn't work out. That is hard. I personally feel like I could stay in there a long time because I'm a stubborn, determined individual. But once you get in there, it's hard. And they're all saying, no, I just barely shifted my hand and suddenly it's out. So it's one of those things. But Izzy's not happy at all. Cerise is suddenly, as they're sitting there thinking, they're getting paranoid. Cerise is suddenly saying, look, I think we're in trouble. I think Cameron is going to put up Jared. I think Jared's in trouble this week. I don't really trust now everything that we did the previous week. I think Jared's in trouble. Jared's saying, look, I know for a fact that they're planning to backdoor me. He says they're going to put up Blue and either myself or Jag, with the idea going after me. If they put up Jag, then someone wins veto, they'll pull him off. They're going to put me up and make sure that I go home. I know that for a fact. So he's getting a little bit nervous about it now. They're talking about America, wondering, because remember, they tried to bring America in as their 7th person to the 6th and all that. Now they're saying, so is America not loyal to us? Is she going to go after you and all? And Jared saying, well, no, I'm just saying she's playing the absolute middle. She'll do whatever helps her. We don't have her. They don't have her. She's just playing the middle. He's worried that he's maybe 2 votes short in terms of getting enough votes to keep him in the house over whoever is up against them. They're thinking way too far ahead. We don't even have an HOH winner, and they're already counting votes with the assumption that Jared is on the block. And there's not a thing they can do it right now anyway, but that's what they do, is think, and get more and more paranoid. So he's worried that he's a couple of votes short. Izzy suddenly is having a revelation saying, oh my God, did Corey play us? And I say Izzy, I think it may have even been Cerise as well, or both, everyone in there. Did Corey play us? Oh my gosh, we're in trouble now. They're talking now about how they don't trust Corey. They don't trust Bowie Jane at all. Cerise refers to Bowie Jane at one point as Max Headroom, which is a child of the 80s. I know who that is. Some of you look it up if you don't. But they're saying, Bowie Jane, Corey, don't trust any of them. They're saying that Corey needs to go as soon as they get rid of like Red and Cameron. That Corey needs to be right behind him as well. So we've got that. Now, we had a little bit of conflict with these inside the house because Cerise is very irritated because during this conversation, Jared says, yesterday and again today, Hassam told me I shouldn't trust you and Felicia at all, that I couldn't trust y'all, not to ever trust you. And Sari and Felicia are saying, wait, what? When did he tell you this? What did he say? And now they're very upset that he didn't tell them earlier. They're saying, look, if we'd known that, there wouldn't even have been any consideration of saving Haisam. He would have been out the door immediately. Why didn't you tell us that, Jared? Why didn't you tell us that? And he's saying, I've been telling you that stuff all week long. And they're saying, well, you're now saying that you just heard it yesterday or just heard it today and you didn't tell us. And Jared doesn't really have a good answer for why he didn't say anything about it, but they're hot at him for not spilling the beans, for not giving them the information itself. It turns into conversation about trust. I trust you, so why can't you trust me? And eventually Jared gets pulled into the DR. As soon as he comes out, he doesn't talk to him anymore. He heads off into the scary room to go to bed to avoid having any more discussions with him. So we see some heated conversations. This group is now suddenly feeling very weak, I suppose. And they're very worried because remember, Corey went on and on about, the other side, they aren't working together. They're not working together. Now they're thinking he may have been lying, that maybe they are together, that suddenly you got the targets for this week all already sitting in the house. So yeah, not a good time for the folks who didn't make it that far in the pressure cooker. They're undergoing their own kind of pressure cooker right now, and it's inside the Big Brother house. All right, we do have a video eventually from Kazar saying music makes a time pass. So, it's always great to have some music, at which point we've got very loud, very obnoxious, hard metal rock playing in the backyard, lights flashing back and forth, and just trying to be as irritating as possible to the house guests that are still playing the game. And at that point, let me talk about this. We have these cards that each house guest as they go out are drawing. I started figuring out at this point exactly what was going on with these cards. When you draw one, different things happen, as Julie had said. Well, Jared was the first one out. His said new friends, and almost immediately the tablecloth disappears and we get the snakes inside. So those are his new friends. Cerie's card just said sixer, and they got a 6-pack of beer, which I think Jared says he drank 5 of them and left one for whoever else is still in there. That's not much of a way of sharing, Jared. But Cerise said sixer, and then Izzy's, before when she went out, her said concert, and then sure enough, we get the loud music and flashing lights afterwards. So that's where it's at so far, is just one word type things that they get on the cards themselves. All right, let's go back to the actual competition itself. Matt is getting miserable because he has to go to the bathroom. They're wondering if the feeds will cut when he doesn't. No, let me say that before I go any further. Jared was saying he had to go to the bathroom really badly because he had drank all his beers, I'm sure. But he really had to go to the bathroom. Suddenly the feeds cut. So maybe because he was no longer in the competition, they let him scoot out for a second and go to the bathroom. Not really sure. We don't know. But now Matt's a little bit nervous because he's got to go to the bathroom as well. Just can't wait. Finally says, I'm going to wait for the lights to turn off again. He made it until, I don't know, almost 2:00, I think, by Big Brother time. And then he went to the bathroom while the lights were out. I think the feeds were cut as well. But when the feeds came back on, everyone in there's going, oh, that's gross. That's so disgusting. I can smell it. It's over here and all of that. So, you do what you got to do. We'll see who else gets impacted like that before too long. All right, one point inside the Big Brother house, we've got Felicia saying, this is a horrible comp. Who would watch this? Well, we get what we ask for. We've been pushing for another pressure cooker forever. I think it's kind of interesting to watch. A little tough to watch it in the middle of the night, but yeah, she's wondering, why in the world would you ever watch this? Felicia's talking about everything, more inside the Big Brother house, and we'll go back. Felicia's talking about everything that she does is through God. Sari comes back and says, look, God did not want to keep Haisam in the house. Felicia agrees with him. I don't think that God cares about the boot order of a reality TV show. I don't think he's sitting there cheering on anyone or cheering against anyone. He's a little bit more concerned about who's getting into his own house, I think. So, yeah, but they're feeling pretty comfortable that God's on their side when they booted Haisam. So, yeah, I don't know. We'll ask God someday. All right, Cerise's saying that, talk about who she doesn't like. Cerise's saying that she hates Cameron. She's starting to hate Red. She does not like Bowie Jane. The more they sit here and watch these people and stew in their minds about who may be coming after them, yeah, they're not in a good mind at this point in time. So Cerise's got a couple of people that she doesn't like, which I assume means she's probably going to target them as well. At this point in time, they're all counting on Nicole to win this thing. Part of the bye-bye bees and all of that. They think that they'd be good with her winning this competition, and she's got a good shot because, again, she has not moved. Where's Nicole? There's Nicole right there. Yeah, Nicole hadn't moved. She's like a statue, as I mentioned in there, so we've got that. All right, what else do we have going on? Corey is wondering how the nominations will work because they could still be in the house until late, so you probably aren't going to have Friday nominations. Maybe you do, and you have very little time to talk to other people one-on-ones and such. So he's wondering how that's going to work. Bowie Jane is saying she's not going to last until today, because she's hungry. She can't go without food. Yeah, how can you go without food, Bowie Jane? So she's saying, I'm not even going to last till noon tomorrow. Cameron, on the other hand, he said, I'll last till Sunday if I have to, because I want to see my kids through pictures of HOH and all that. So he's very determined to win this thing. Bowie Jane, not so much. Eventually we get everyone inside the Big Brother house. They're all napping, sleeping. Jared's in the scary room. Everyone else is sleeping in the just the living room, watching this TV screen to see who goes out first. And we do have some other people that start dropping this morning, early morning. Bowie Jane out at 3:35, 3:45, something like that. Bowie Jane is out. Apparently her card said pressure cooker. She has won the first prize of the competition. She won a pressure cooker. That's kind of appropriate, right? A little bit later, about an hour later, Matt is out at 4:45. His card was not a prize. His card released flies. I don't know if it said flies, but it released flies. A side panel of some sort opened up. Flies are supposed to fly everywhere. It's so cold that apparently the flies are all either dead or sleeping. And so all house guests still playing or laughing, saying, yeah, the bunch of dead flies, that didn't quite work the way they wanted. So he got a bit of a punishment with flies being released. And so we've got that. And then finally, the final house guest out so far as of filming at 5:30 this morning, Big Brother time, 7:30 Houston. We lost Red. Red went out about 5:20 or so, Big Brother time. He says he rolled his ankle. We didn't see it on the feeds, but he says he rolled his ankle and just fell off the thing a little bit. He was reaching out, staying on his tiptoes and things like that, and rolled an ankle, accidentally let go of the button. So Red is out as well. He won a home entertainment system for his troubles and a free subscription to Paramount Plus TV. Well, there you go, right? So now you can watch live feeds next year. I'm amazed as a former house guest. You would think they'd give me a free subscription to Paramount Plus just to watch my own episodes, if nothing else. Nah, they don't give us anything. I got to pay for it just like everyone else. But there you have it. So who's out so far? Matt, Bowie Jane, Red, Jared, Sari, Felicia and competing. We've got quite a few still left. A few of them looking a little weak, but certainly Nicole is looking strong. America's looking pretty strong. Blue, I don't think that she'll last that much longer. Corey, he's starting to move around a little bit as well. Corey was prepared. He undid his shoelaces so his feet, when they swelled, his feet wouldn't hurt. He's got all figured out, but he is shifting around a little bit. Jag looks pretty solid as well. Cameron, who knows? He said he's going to last till Sunday. We'll see if that competition lasts till Sunday. So there you have it, guys. I had to shut it down at some point in time. So again, about 7:30 or so here, Houston time. And we still have a lot competing. It'll be interesting as the sun starts coming up. I don't know if there's a roof to this thing, if it's going to stay somewhat dark, or that sun's going to come in all its glory. And they may not be cold for much longer. You may be hitting some 100-degree type stuff. No drinking, anything else. If I'm Big Brother, I may be worried a little bit about dehydration if it gets too hot out there. This could turn into a brutal competition as we go into the day. We're going to find out. I'll certainly be watching. Y'all enjoy y'all's Friday. I will be back tomorrow morning to give you a recap. Maybe we'll know who the winner is by then. And if not, well, props to whoever's still left, because you'll deserve the win if you last longer than till tomorrow morning. Guys, have a great Friday. Until tomorrow morning, SKD143. Cheers, my friends. Bye.